Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Subsistence Traveling, where we discuss travel, economics, and current events. Okay, my name is Jay, and I'm coming to you live from Panama City, Panama. Now, today we'll be discussing the topic Millennial Serfs. Okay, now this is about the move from mass production to a circular, agrarian slash service based economy. Okay, so let's begin. All right, so the definition of a circular economy is a system aimed at eliminating waste and continual use of resources. Okay, so basically, it's an economy where what goes in comes out and it goes around in a circular. Okay, nothing is wasted, nothing is disposed of. It's just the continual use of resources. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys a chart. This is the list of the top exports from the United States. Okay, and you see here the top exports, which machinery, mineral fuels, electrical machinery, aircraft, vehicles. Now this list, as you can see, the top 10 exports of the U.S. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the top 10 net positive exports from the U.S. Now, the top 10 positive net exports or exports where the US export of this particular good more than it imports. Okay, so basically these are the goods that would cause a surplus in our exports. Now, the top 10 are number one, aircraft and spacecraft, two, oil seeds, three, other chemical goods, four, cereals, five, meat, six, food industry waste, seven, cotton, eight, wood pulp, nine, plastics and plastic articles, 10, ores, slag, and ash. Okay, so basically we export a lot of materials and a lot of raw materials. Okay, now based on this video, there are two kinds of countries. Okay, there's countries that produce raw materials and there's countries that produce finished goods. Okay, now basically over the past 30 years, we've went from a country that produces finished goods to a country that produces raw materials. Now, raw materials are not as valued as finished goods. So the economy of a place that produces raw materials is not as good as generally as a place that produces finished goods. Okay, so I'm gonna just show you how this all ties into everything. So basically, what's been happening is we're seeing most developed countries move from producers of finished goods to suppliers of raw materials. Now, you may ask why. Okay, why are they doing this? Now, these reasons are basically the biggest reasons that's affecting our quality of lives in the West. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, so the main reasons why, I'm going to start with number one, is peak. We're at peak global growth. Okay, so in the 90s, we arrived at peak global growth, with the advent of the internet, and from the 90s until now, we've endured a lot of prosperity due to the internet. Okay, but we're approaching that era. It's been close to, say, 20 years, been over 20 years, past the internet, and we're reaching, the peak global growth, that was caused by the internet. Okay, so going forward, we're going to have weak economic growth, just stagnation from here on. Number two is stratification. Okay. Now, the wealthy the wealthy just love a stratified society. Okay. What stratification does is it provides an unproductive allocation of resources. Okay, so basically, stratification allows mismanagement of resources, and basically you have the unproductive people enjoying the fruits of the productive. Okay, so basically, unproductive people living off the productivity of the productive people. So that's what stratification allows. You'll see all kinds of classism, racism, all kinds of, oh, I'm better than you. I'm, just every reason to feel entitled. That's what stratification does. It brings entitlement, for the misallocation of resources. The next reason is low birth rates. The wealthy would love low birth rates because basically the excess of production equals savings, okay? Now, when the population increases, the production is consumed, so there's less excess, okay? But when you have a low population and more productivity, that means there's more savings, there's more excess. So that's the reason why the wealthy wants low birth rates, because the lower the population is the more the excess. The next reason is demoralization. Basically, the wealthy would love to see us all just living like dogs, willing to do anything to eat, to find a place to stay, just to no morals, no integrity. It's like they say, once you lose your morals, you have nothing. Basically, demoralization will lead to lower consumer rights, and it would make it easier for companies to provide bad service and bad products. So basically, you'll be paying more for inferior products and inferior service. Okay, so that's the reason for demoralization. You'll accept working 20 hours per day and eating nothing but garbage. A good example of this would be, the Dark Act. Just people, companies allowed to put whatever they want in your food without telling you, and you've noticed that no one has actually really complained or protested this. That's a form of demoralization. People working 2-3 jobs, and another form of demoralization, just to eat and to have shelter. Demoralization. The next reason is machine efficiency. Okay, what machine efficiency does is it makes producing goods very efficient. Okay, so when the production of goods are very efficient, the problem you have is you'll always have a lack of good service. Okay, so basically the demand for good service will always be there. So right now we have an excess of industrial goods, just an excess of industrial goods, but service, as far as good service, there's a lack of good service. So basically you'll see increase in the service-based sectors like nursing, home care providers, any service-related field, because there's always a lack of good service as relative to industrial goods. Because we've become very efficient at producing industrial goods. Now, all these things lead to higher prices, okay? Because the wealthy will always want you to believe that the goods that they produce and supply to you is very valuable. So it will always lead to higher prices. Especially in a low growth environment, your the goods that you need will rise. Your housing, your food, the things that you need will rise, while the things that you want, those may come down in price. Again, and the reason for it all is just to protect wealth and status. Okay, there's no deep reason. Don't think, I mean, people would like you to believe there's a lot of depth to the things they do, but the reason why is to just protect wealth and status. You have to think of it as, when you've made a lot of money, and you get to a certain point where you've made a lot of money. Now you have to protect your wealth. Okay, and what better way than to move from an economy that produces finished goods than to raw materials? Because people will always need raw materials, always need inputs, always need food, and so that's what you're seeing. You're seeing the move to this. Everything is based on real estate, because why? Everyone needs somewhere to live. So it's just a way to protect wealth that was already accumulated, and to you know I guess you know and to protect status is very important too, because as I said, stratification provides for misallocation of resources. So if someone protect, it's not only about protecting wealth, because wealth can be eroded, but status as well, because again, status leads to the misallocation of resources. Again, guys, I hope you just like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Try to check out some of the other videos. I have videos on inflation, on different health crises. I have some travel videos that you guys should check out. So just like, share, subscribe, and again, peace to all.